Hello. Actually, recently I make the artifact episode number 2401. This artifact episode is actually while I was recording. The In the middle of the recording, it just stops and it just fade blank. Okay, this is actually happened almost like a fourth time. Yeah, fourth or fifth time, and I'm really kind of like really not so good with that. Okay, because while I'm making the artifact episode, I need to be explain things naturally. Okay, so it's important thing is that key you are like whatever the recorder you are recording, your that recorder should work properly. If it is not, then it's just really not gonna work out. Okay, it's like that key whatever I'm doing, and it's kind of like nothing was gonna happen. So yeah, but still it's just like that key yesterday I didn't really make any artifact episode. So yeah, and basically who is gonna listen those audio track? Yeah, I have like almost like a, this is actually 3000, sorry, 2300, 2400. Okay, so basically I have almost like a 2400, almost like a 2000 audio tracks. Okay, wave format. And it's kind of like a really difficult to understand. Why? Because it's in the audio. Okay, like a video is actually really good, like when you can sense that the emotions and things like that, but the audio is kind of like just audio. Okay, you cannot get any videos from it. So whatever. Yeah, so what is I'm gonna tell you is that key what so yesterday I didn't really make any artifact episode. Why? Because of that key yesterday I was so yesterday I was so busy on the making, and I had to submit my project because it's already like a 1st November and I have to be submit my project till the 1st November. So I have so many frustration, and kind of like I was focusing on the completing my project, and there is whole subtitle is remaining. So I have to writing those subtitle from the till the end of the completing, and I complete my project at almost like a 4 p.m. afternoon. Okay, and after that I just wanted to be get relaxed because it's just like that the things happen like a submitting like a, when I'm trying to submitting my project now, that days is very much tight for me. I was like so stressful, like I have to submit my project and things like that. So whatever. So what is the thing happened? So today's what's happened. So so actually is that key, this is a new project. Okay, also one thing is that key I need to upgrade my laptop because I wanted to do that. I have I'm actually facing a storage issue because I am like I have one hard disk, which is 2 TB hard disk, which is already full with the artifact episode and all those things. Okay, and then I have 1 TB hard disk. Okay, basically is that key this is my artifact episode. I'm recording this artifact episode, and that artifact episode is really important. Okay, and I already face when you lost your data, then it feels really off. Okay, I didn't really think twice. I didn't really think like that key if I lost my artifact episode, then it will be really difficult thing for me. Because of that key, this artifact episode is meant for my life. Like I was doing this from last 4 year, okay, 5 year. So I am really kind of like a thing that I will not be thinking that our artifact episode, I will not jeopardize my artifact episode in some sort of thing. So what I did is that my 2 TB hard disk is actually I pack fully, and then I wrap up in a cloth, and just I put it on my safe. So I didn't like if I using this thing, then what is the thing happened like basically is that But dude, this is the hard disk. Okay, it's not SSD, it's a hard disk. Okay, if you're not using this thing, then it will be damaged. So you just have to take backup. Yeah, you're right. So what is that? What do you have to do? Is that yeah, you are right. Like there is a one only one back. There is a only one backup is available of that artifact episode. You have almost like a two backup. Okay, so okay, but it will wait, na. It will wait almost like a almost 2 3 months or maybe more than that. I will buy another hard disk. Like right now, I am upgrading my laptop. It cost me almost like a 10,000 rupees. Okay, so I will not buying something else which is kind of like a yeah. I know that it's really essential, but I don't have money. Okay, I will buy that hard disk at almost like a 3 4 months after, but right now I will not. Okay, because and I am kind of like a um, thinking really I'm kind of like a really feels good or feels safe because of that key. I have a hard disk that is a Toshiba hard disk, and I save that hard disk to my locker almost like a 2 or 3 year. It was in my safe, and it's really healthy, it's really fine as also. So I don't really feel any problem in that. So it's good and it's really great. Okay, so if I am using it will be really get damaged, but if it is safe, it's really packed inside that, then it's really good. So and it has to be wait almost like a 2 3 months. Okay, then after that I will buy and then I will create new backup. Okay, so yeah, so actually I'm upgrading my laptop. So I am upgrading at 8 GB RAM to 16 GB RAM, because RAM is really essential, because I'm using games. I'm using laptop for my games and editing purpose. Okay, and I seen that my RAM is take almost like a 93 or 95% consumed, and it's really not so good because of that key. Like while editing I can sense that kit use almost like a 95%. So yes, and it doesn't like when you have like what is exactly happened is that key, when you have kind of like a limited storage of RAM, then what is the system do is that key, it try to compress the processes that actually happened on the operating system, and you will get little bit of lag. Okay, I feel that like yesterday when I tried to export my video, it shows me something really off about like it does not exporting. Okay, I seen my hardware like what is exactly like my GPU is working or not, or my CPU is working or not. So actually is that my GPU and CPU, they both are stopped working, and stop working means they are not showing anything. Okay, and the Premiere Pro is actually hang. Okay, and RAM is using almost like a 99%. Sometimes it gives 100%. RAM is kind of like a using on full capacity. I don't know what is happened. So actually I force close my Premiere Pro, and it actually happened twice. Okay, so after that what I did, actually I changed my codec from H.264 to MPEG. MPEG is usually straight format. Straight format means straight codec. So basically whatever the codec you shoot, the same codec they are, and same layer, same and everything. They are not compressing everything. It's kind of like a very raw. Okay, and the whole file size like I export that video, and the total size of the video is almost like a 2.1 GB. Okay, so then I use handbrake to compress that video, and it compress almost like a 400 GB, 400k MB. Okay, but this actually problem occurred, but actually this problem is not due to the RAM. Well, actually this, yeah, that's really good. This is not actually happened because of RAM. It's some sort of glitch on the Premiere Pro. Yes, but there is a one thing is that I am upgrading my laptop. So upgrading means, what is that? I need to upgrade my RAM now, because I'm using my laptop very intensely, because my laptop is always on, almost like a if I'm saying always, like a, yeah, always, yes. I just like a, at the night I will left alive till the download the complete, so it always on. Okay, and I'm using really heavy work on that, like sometimes I'm using games as also. So games required so many of ram, vram, and vram means video ram, and as also the system ram. So 8 GB is not enough. Okay, and if you are kind of like a editor, and you are also playing little bit of games, so basically you need a ram. Okay, so 16 GB is good. Okay, and storage, yeah, I am getting almost like a 500 GB of ssd, and I don't have any much storage. I have another hard disk which is 1 TB, but I am kind of like a little bit of scared because of that key. While I when I'm using hard disk, actually external hard disk, it's really great, it's really not so great because of that key. External hard disk is actually moving part inside it. Okay, so if you just kind of like a, while writing or reading some of the data on the hard disk, and if you move, or if you just, if that hard disk is fall on something or somewhere, and it just like the parts inside that hard disk is getting little bit of damage, then it will damage the entire disk, and it will damage the entire the hard disk. Because I got the experience from my previous hard disk, like a 2 TB hard disk I already bought almost like 4 year ago. And 2 year ago, while just copying my data, I just put that hard disk to my table, and just little bit slide on my fingertip, and just like fall, and the distance is actually very much not so good, almost like a 1 centimeter, 1 or 2 centimeter, but it still got bad sector on that disk. Bad sector means like that key, what is exactly hard disk? There is a disk inside that hard disk. Okay, and there is a needle that read and write the data. Okay, so when that is kind of like a moving, like a disk, and actually that needle is actually moving. Okay, so, and that it has to be moved automatically, it does not has to be moved kind of like by external force. When you put in some sort of external force on that hard disk and it will move, then it will create some sort of dent on that disk, and that dent is actually created by that needle, that same needle that read and write the data. Okay, and that dent is actually spread across all over the disk. Okay, so it's really not so great, it's really not so good, because so I have really bad experience with the hard disk. Okay, and usually I am not really afford any ssd, and as also I am not really afford any nas, so I have to be managed with the hard disk, but I have to be work very cautiously, so I'm using hard disk very much cautiously. So if you are saying like a, what if you are using like a, what if like a, you use your external hard disk for just kind of like a always attached to your laptop, and then you are using, I will not doing it that. Why? Because I will not jeopardize my another hard disk for damaging all those things, because things happen, my desk is actually messed up, there are always be things happen, I always using my laptop, and it's kind of like a really dirty over there, and I will not kind of like focus on the hard disk, because I have so many things happen over there. So yeah, so basically internal hard disk is really good. So I'm upgrading 2 TB hard disk. 2 TB is really good, because having 2 TB hard disk is having really great storage. Okay, and yeah, so 2 TB hard disk is really good, so that you can save your all your Premiere project data and your games as also, and your artifact episode. Okay, but I will not basically when I get the another hard disk na, so then I will create backup. but right now this internal hard disk is used for the games and premiere data project. आर्टिफैक्ट एपिसोड के लिए कुछ अलग से हार्ड डिस्क लेनी पड़ेगी, बट आई विल नॉट बाय दिस हार्ड डिस्क राइट नाउ, आई विल बाय आफ्टर almost like a 2-3 months. Okay, there is another things, actually I decided with my content and creativity is that कि I have to be focused, and as also there are several changes has to be done with my craft. What is this thing is that कि my video is flat. Okay, I am sensing actually like I am not really, I just like I cannot even watch my video because it's just like it's really flat, it is very much flat. Okay, so I need to showcase my face. Because of that कि when you show someone face on that video, it tells story, it tells emotion, it tells things. If you are using just a voiceover, that means like you are listening the artifact episode, like whatever the good things you are telling on that artifact episode, but people doesn't really care. Like I didn't really care as also, like I have almost like a 2000 audio file, but I didn't listen once. But I have so many video file, but I am kind of like I have very less amount of video file, but I watch some of the times and it feels really great as also. So video is really good. So I am representing my face, so that is why, because of that key, I have a little bit of hesitation of facing the camera, so that's why I make this video, which is really good. Okay, uh, it doesn't get any so much view, like I am getting almost like a 20 views and 7 or 8 likes. Okay, basically it's those are views and likes as are getting from my friends, and that's it. Okay, I don't really expect that even much further. Okay, because in the beginning it's things happen, it has to be happen. Yeah, and yeah, I buy a new board, a whiteboard actually. In that board I am written all those things, like what is the thing I need to do. So what is the first thing, like tomorrow is the 2nd November, and I have to write the script till 2nd November, but I didn't really research, because the whole day is actually like from morning to right now I didn't really did anything. Okay, like a morning I was kind of like a thinking like that ki, what I have to do it today. Then I went to the market, and then I kind of like focusing the whiteboard and all those things, and then I went to sleep. And when I just sit on my desk, like after this artifact episode, like after almost like a 10 p.m., then I will kind of like doing some research about my next project is Sachi, and yes, I will showcase my face, and it will be good, and I have to submit that project till 8 November. So till then everything fine is good. So this is it. Thank you.